Regarding all these farmers that are now crying about possibly losing their farms because they voted for Trump, this is why you absolutely should not feel bad for any of these farmers that voted for Trump. Now, the ones that didn't vote, yes, feel sorry for them, go support them, do whatever you need to do. But the ones that voted for Trump, do not feel sorry for them, and let me tell you why. I am a builder, and I've been building shit in Oklahoma City going on like 20 years now, and farmers are not stupid. If you have the ability to manage a farm and understand the weather, the climate, your machinery, the chemistry that goes into your crops, you are not a stupid person. You're just not. And especially when you come from generational farming, you have the ability to look ahead and predict what you need to survive. And so when you have two candidates where you have Kamala Harris on one side giving you a whole fucking list of shit that she's going to do for you and make your life better, and then you have Trump on the other side who can't even come out with a normal sounding sentence, and you still vote for that guy, and you are a farmer, you are either racist or sexist or both. And they're only crying now because now they are being treated exactly how they voted for other people to be treated. Got that? They are being treated how they voted for other minorities, people of color, everybody else, poor people, sick people. That's how they voted for other people to be treated. And now they're the ones being treated that way by losing their livelihood, their homes, their income, their farms. So do not feel sorry for them. This is exactly what they had coming. Quick follow-up as to why exactly would Trump be doing this to farmers anyways, and I'm guessing 99% chance it's because he wants to bankrupt farms so his corporate buddies can come in and do a land grab. Basically what you have been seeing the last few years, major companies buying up a bunch of rental houses and jacking up the price of rents, and it's all going to corporations. It's probably something similar to let these farms go to foreclosure and his corporate buddies be able to come in, swoop them up, and now you've got bigger companies involved in more of our day-to-day food.
Oh boy, let's talk about how Trump is screwing the farmers. I have a lot of soybean farmers who are my clients, and this is really bad news. Caleb Ragland, who's the president of the American Soybean Association, he said farmers are heading into a harvest season without a single order from China. 25% of soybean farmers' crops are usually sold to China. The prices of soybeans are down 40% because of what's happening under the Trump administration, and production costs are rising. I'm tying in the Trump administration to this. This Soybean Association president is still speaking up Donald Trump. 500,000 soybean growers in the United States exist and are being severely impacted by this. They're having to now rely on loans to get them through the season. There are 231,000 jobs associated with soybean farming, harvesting, transportation, storage, you name it. And he says the impact on the local rural community that depends on the farmer is going to be severely impacted. South American farmers, soybean farmers, are filling the gap. China is just hop-skipping over the United States, and countries like Brazil have got it completely covered. No wonder Trump is attacking some of these other countries south of us. But then he went on to reiterate that Donald Trump loves farmers and that he supports Trump. And he says that the Trump administration told him to tell the farmers to be patient. I just want to explain what the soybean farmers are looking at. Harvest season is right around the corner. Imagine that there's a machine manufacturer that is on the brink of bankruptcy, and they've got a whopping $50,000 in the bank. And they've got to make a decision. Do we keep hiring people to build this one machine in hopes that we can sell it and make that money back? Do we drain that $50,000 and go into debt, hiring employees, purchasing materials to make it happen, run our facility to make that machine, pay for transportation costs to ship it out in the hopes that we'll have a customer for it? That's what they're facing. They've got to hire H-2A workers, those nasty, nasty brown-skinned people, and I'm being very sarcastic. That's how MAGA looks at them. There's truck drivers that haul the soy. There's storage facilities with silos that store them. The farmer pays to have them stored. They're going to tell them we have no room because we're storing 10,000 other farmers' soy products that are not being sold anywhere. Like, this is so fucking devastating. And when I saw that farmer in, I believe, Arkansas, crying, this is a grown-ass man with gray hair. Donald Trump, we love you. We need your help. This is what MAGA doesn't get. Don't leave a seat at the table expecting Donald Trump to come sit down and talk to farmers. He will only sit at the tables that have billionaires and Project 2025 folks. He's only focused on their agenda. And the Project 2025 agenda includes changing the American farming industry that's going to fucking screw every American farmer. He's not going to come and have a seat at your table. Just be patient.
Everyone, it's Anthony here, no relation. Today, MAGA voters, they are asking Democrats for support. They're asking for support in pressuring Trump to bail them out. Yes, that's what they're asking. Are you guys ready to support them? So let's watch the videos and see what they have to say for themselves. Because Trump said, I have a concept of a plan. Now let's watch what that concept of a plan is.
Hey y'all. So American farmers are now praying, especially in Arkansas. They out here at town halls praying for relief, asking for bailouts when they're the same people who voted against bailouts because they said, we shouldn't be bailing people out of situations. Now they're on here crying about they're about to lose their farms. And one of the guys, his name is, his page on here is Rolling Homies. He's on a whole tirade, mad at us and saying, so this is what y'all gonna do? Y'all are saying that, just who cares about the farms because how we voted? It's not very American. Sir, it wasn't very American when you decided to vote against minorities, your wife, your daughter, and frankly, your own damn self. That wasn't very American. You voted for a pedophile, racist, who doesn't care about anybody but lining the pockets of himself and his rich cronies. And what you failed to do is realize that we were telling you what was going to happen, but your racism took place and you didn't want to vote for the black lady who had a plan for farmers. Y'all let racism win, and now you're mad at everybody else because you made a choice and you let racism win. And instead of you being mad at Donald Trump, you're coming for all the people telling you, oh, well, this is what you get. And you're in your feelings. This is a classic weak ass, mediocre white man trope. Y'all sit up here and be in your feelings about shit that you created. You started this. Y'all created this. You and your wives and everybody else that voted for this, because black people overwhelmingly voted for Kamala Harris, who had a plan for you. So while you're sitting up here saying it's un-American to want businesses to fail because what's going to happen is foreign entities, and it's probably that company, I think it's called Acre Land or something to that matter, they come in and they buy up farms and then they resell it. And so you're on here saying, well, you're going to let a company come in and buy American land, a foreign company come in and buy American land and take our farms away. No, you did that, Buki. You did that, rolling homies. You and your homies that you roll with did that when you voted for Donald Trump. And if you want to be mad at anybody, go on over to Pennsylvania Avenue and talk to him. But get off this internet trying to come for us and saying we're going to be sorry when we lose our food. Man, we are losing benefits, people losing jobs, people losing houses, people losing education benefits. People are losing the ability to buy food because they can't afford it. What are you talking about? Why do you think y'all the only ones affected? And the only reason y'all are saying something now is because the trickle has happened and it started to affect you. But you did this, sir. So what I need you to do is have several fucking seats. Go talk to your cronies. Y'all better figure something out. But we ain't got nothing for you. You got what the hell you voted for. And if you're mad about that, you can be mad at yourself. Take accountability. That's a start. That's what everybody else does. Figure it out.
This video is for MAGA farmers and MAGA farmers only. If you're not a MAGA farmer, go ahead and scroll. Hi guys. It appears as though you were suffering the first consequence for your actions in your entire life. You were told in excruciating detail what was going to happen if you voted for Donald Trump. And because you didn't believe anyone, you voted for him anyway. And now your crops are rotting in the fields because he deported all of your workers. Your money is drying up because there's no one to buy these crops from you because he shut off all exports due to this weird global game that he has no clue how to play. And it appears as though you generational farmers are going to be losing the land that has been in your families for generations. And so you're begging to be bailed out so that that doesn't happen. We're not doing it this time. You've managed to get away throughout your entire lives and your entire careers of having no consequences for the choices that you make. The choices that affect others, but never affect you because you always get a government bailout. You don't want your tax dollars to go to the welfare queen who's using food stamps to feed her kids, but you've got your hand out like Mona Lisa Saperstein asking for money anytime anything goes slightly wrong for you. I think you may have gambled on this one too many times, and your requests for help are falling on deaf ears. Not just from those of us who warned you, but from the government officials that you're begging for money. Arkansas farmers gathered in a town hall meeting a few days ago to pray for help. I'm not sure why you think that prayer is going to change Donald Trump's mind, but do you, I guess. I'm very sorry that you're looking at losing everything right now because of the way that you voted, but I'm not sorry to see you suffering a consequence for once. Because as much as you hate that mother who's trying to use food stamps to feed her children and call her a welfare queen, American farmers are the biggest welfare queens on the entire planet. And you've gotten too used to sucking up that government money to bail you out of all these problems. It sucks. It's tragic. I don't want it to happen, but this is what you voted for. We voted to help you. You voted to screw us. And it looks like you're getting screwed along with the rest of us, which is exactly what we told you was going to happen. Anyway, love y'all.
Yeah, this is so true. See, I read Project 2025 and I knew everything that was going to happen to farmers, but I knew for more than anything that farmers, they don't read. Not all of them. There are good farmers that read. And if they do read, they lack comprehension, which is a big problem in America. A lot of Americans, not just farmers, every American kind of lack comprehension sometimes. But more so, farmers, especially in the South, in the southern areas, and the Midwest too, I've noticed, because I live in Iowa now, and I've noticed too, farmers are stuck under a generational curse. That curse is entitlement and superiority. And it's a false superiority, it's a pseudo superiority, because America has always bailed out farmers, especially white farmers, and they employ, Latin and Hispanic people. Because again, they were told that they were going to deport the Hispanic population, but those farmers thought they didn't keep their farmers, their help. They thought that, oh, they're working for me, it's not going to be a big deal. That was a certain amount of privilege and a false superiority they had that got crushed really fast. And I laugh, not at the Hispanic and Latin population, because my heart goes out to that. I will always have sympathy for the Hispanic population and the Latin population that did not vote for this, the ones that came over legally, the ones that are not criminals, the ones that are trying to make a better life. I will always have sympathy for them. But to them white farm owners, I have no sympathy for people who lack empathy.
American farmers are bracing for some big changes under President Trump's new immigration policy. They don't know what the future workforce could look like in an industry that relies very heavily on this migrant labor. Nearly half of America's farm workers, half, are thought to be undocumented.
American farms are on the decline. There was a 7% drop in farms from 2017 to 2022, according to the USDA. That's about 142,000 fewer farms in just 5 years. These days, farmers are up against bird flu outbreaks, higher costs for feed and fertilizer, and climate change. But their livelihoods depend on a reliable workforce. And now they're concerned about how President Trump's campaign promise to launch the largest deportation effort in American history will play out. Immigration taking center stage from day one.
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
About 2/3 of crop workers are foreign-born. And while many come to the U.S. who are seasonal jobs legally through H-2A visas, the USDA estimates that 42% of crop laborers are undocumented. New Jersey farmer Kurt Alstead says his workers are all legally authorized, but he's watching closely to see what Trump does next. When we talk about the ripple effects of a potential mass deportation, labor is already hard enough to find as is. Could it be even more difficult to find across the board if that does happen?
Well, there's no question in the United States we have a shrinking workforce. Anything that happens from a policy standpoint that reduces people in our workforce is going to make it very difficult for industry, and certainly for agriculture. We would be in big trouble if we lost workforce.
The labor union, United Farm Workers, has already seen an uptick in migrants asking for help.
The threats are scary, but at the same time, farm workers more than anyone understand the reality that without them, this work is not going to get done.
And fewer workers could mean less homegrown produce, according to University of Montana economist Diane Charlton.
But there will be less domestically grown fruits and vegetables.
Does that mean more farms could go belly up?
Definitely.
Nate Chittenden, a third-generation New York dairy farmer, says his industry needs change.
We all want safe, affordable food in this country. We all realize that people that work hard deserve a chance to improve their lives. You know, we have to figure out what we can do to make that happen without breaking the system.
The new welfare queens. That's what I'm calling them nowadays. They are the new welfare queens. These MAGA farmers, they are the new welfare queens. They used to say that black population is propped up by welfare. And again, they claim that in their society, socialism doesn't work. You know, last year, in January, Biden offered to bail them out 18 billion. And Republican members of Congress, they blocked the bill to bail out American farmers. I don't know why. They said socialism doesn't work for us. Socialism is not our way of life. That's what they claimed. But now they demand to be bailed out. What do you call that in a capitalist society? Is that not socialism? Isn't that it? Because when you see capitalism in our country has been kidnapped, it has been hijacked by corporate greed. Capitalism doesn't work for me and you. In very rare cases, in very rare cases, when these corporates makes money, who benefits? Me, the worker? No, it's the shareholders. That's why Trump's policies were populist. They would never work in an ideal world.
Well, the Democrats were right again, and it turns out the farmers of Iowa are completely shit out of luck, specifically because they voted for Trump, okay? Because his policies have double fucked them, okay? Starting with USAID. Now, you might say, why would USAID be connected to the farmers of Iowa? Well, turns out that USAID was one of their most reliable customers. We were spending up to $2 billion every year buying soybeans from them and then shipping them overseas to feed poor, starving children. Until our Christian president got in office and he said, "What? We are sending food overseas to feed hungry children? For Christ's sake, shut that down immediately." Well, in doing that, they have now taken away the second largest, most reliable customer for these soybean farmers in Iowa. Now, who was their number one customer? Well, it used to be China. And up until recently, they were buying 60% of our soybean exports out of America. But Daddy Trump came in and jacked up these tariffs, started a trade war with China, and now these soybean farmers have lost their number one customer. So now these soy boys are sitting on a Scrooge McDuck level of soybeans with absolutely nobody to sell them to. And that is why they are begging Daddy Trump for a bailout and for him to cut the shit with China so we can get rid of these tariffs. You know, it's amazing. Trump supporters put him in office hoping that he would just ruin the lives of all the people who they hated. But they didn't realize that Trump isn't on their team. He's on Team Billionaire, not on Team Farmer or Team Trucker or Team Everyday American. He only cares about rich people. Anyway, happy Sunday, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. Football is back. Hell yeah, very exciting for all of us who are still able to watch it, despite the fact that there are male cheerleaders now. Oh. Anyway, guys, I love you. I'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you soon.
It's not my responsibility as a taxpayer to bail out your farm because you don't understand how a tariff works. On my list of people I don't feel sorry for today, the farmers. Don't feel bad for you. You voted for this. He campaigned on tariffs. He told you he was going to do this, and it's not our fault that you don't understand how tariffs work. We tried to tell you. So now, when your soybeans aren't being bought by China because of tariffs and the soybean market crashes like everything else in this economy, we tried to warn you. So stop congesting town halls asking for government handouts and bailouts, because not that long ago, you were telling all of the essential workers and the healthcare workers who were asking for student loan forgiveness that you took the loan out. You pay it back. It's not our responsibility as taxpayers to pay your student loans. I hope you have the day you voted for.
Oh, Iowa is finding out. We all remember Iowa from election night, where only 5 counties voted blue. And the good people have gotten exactly what they voted for, and now leading America in farmer bankruptcies. You know, farmer bankruptcies that hadn't been this high since the first Trump administration. We're trending down during the Biden administration. And these people are still so delusional that Kim Reynolds, the governor of Iowa, still came out and said, we're a Trump country, that we stand with the president despite the tariffs. I'll tell you what, you guys sure do like paying for your racism, don't you? To go along with the family farms going out of business, you have multiple investors that have now gone bankrupt in the companies they own in Iowa. But I tell you what, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, can you? How can you people have lost everything? Your GDP has shrunk by over 6% this calendar year, and yet here you are stating that you're still a Trump state, that we stand with you even though you've destroyed our lives. What has this man done for you ever that you should give this loyalty? Oh, the racism.
I can't help it. I have to chime in about these Iowa farmers. All the stuff that everyone has already said, I absolutely agree with. All the FAFO feelings, and yes, you got what you voted for. But I want to chime in and say, I feel bad as well. It's like you're a victim of your own echo chamber. You're a victim of misinformation. You're a victim of what rural life is like, to isolation. And it's kind of what's wrong with America. We're so big and there's so much country and there is so much isolation. But you know what? We have so much access to information. There is no excuse anymore. If you're laying in bed at night and you're worried about your home, your livelihood, your legacy, the roof over your head and the food in your mouth, check on that echo chamber, maybe crack it open.
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero empathy. We want them to fail.
So now suddenly farmers want empathy? But didn't you people say that empathy is woke and empathy is bad? Where was that same empathy when they voted? Did they care about students drowning in debt? No student loan forgiveness, so why should there be farmer bailouts? Do they care about families who needed WIC, food stamps, free school lunches? No. Medicare? No. Pew Pew controlled to save kids? Definitely not. And I don't see any Republicans running to support the farmers. Shouldn't they be pulling themselves up by the bootstraps and working harder? I mean, that's what the Republicans have been telling everybody else. Do I want farmers to fail? No, of course not. But did they knowingly vote against their own interest? Absolutely. And do I feel bad for them? Not one bit, because they never feel bad when their votes actively harm other people. I'll gladly and have to pay $20 for imported veggies if that's the cost. This was their choice, and maybe, when they feel the sting of their own hate, bigotry, and racism backfiring, they'll finally realize that voting the wrong way hurts everyone, including themselves.
Long live Trump. No relation. And why do I say long live Trump? Because Trump's policies at the moment, they are meant to destroy the Republican Party forever. It's true. When you see Trump policies, they are affecting his fan base and the Republican fan base. That's what it's doing at the moment. Destroying, full destruction. Yes. And during the midterms and the future elections, Republicans will have a hard time explaining their policies to the MAGA voters and the general Republican fan base, because the next leaders of the Republican Party will not have the same ideologies as Trump, because Trump ideologies are extremist. For example, the immigration. He's saying that he wants to deport the criminals, and probably maybe the workers, they can be given some permits to work here. But now he's rounding up everybody, even people who are propping up our economy in these United States. They are being kidnapped, they are being taken away, people who work in the farms, people who don't commit crimes. Vet them, give them their certifications to work for a moment maybe, and then they can reapply continuously. They can pay taxes, they can contribute to the economy of this country. Yes, because we have a 24 trillion economy to continue growing and to continue servicing. How do you service that when you don't have enough workforce, when crops are rotting in the fields, when you are placing high tariffs, when you are playing the tariffs games with Brazil, with China, to the extent that our farmers, external markets, they are getting lost? How do you do that? We are isolating ourselves from the world trade. And we have been thinking that we are so special that we are untouchables. That's what Trump used to think. We are untouchables. But now, the farmers who voted for him, his general fan base, is facing the consequences. So we are in deep trouble as a country at the moment. And let's continue hoping that we get out of this mess. Continue registering. Continue attending those town halls, even if you are member of the house is a Republican, because nowadays they are not even attending these town halls. I don't know why. They don't want to answer our questions. They don't even want to answer our questions because they know it's hard out there. So let's continue attending those town halls. Let's show up in the streets when necessary. Let's engage in dialogues and ensure that your friend is a registered Democrat. That's how we're going to turn the situation of this country around.